Tun, I think we welcome if there is any criminal investigation because it will give us the opportunity to vindicate. Tun can vindicate himself because we can call all these people as witnesses. And one thing is very clear: any criminal or civil cases cannot rely on the evidence
RCI.
that was adduced during the RCI under the Act. They have to do it all over again. And then we have the opportunity to call or subpoena witnesses, including the cabinet members and all those, even Apandi Ali, and then we can then ascertain the truth of the whole matter. You see, what we are upset is that, look, you have this report. The idea is to present the truth to the people, but then you have 47 pages redacted, blacked out. Is that how you present the truth to the public? Then no reason is given. The RCI was conducted in secrecy. Tun, under Section 18 of the Act, was entitled to be present together with his lawyers throughout the proceeding. Tun was entitled to know who were called to give evidence, who testified, and if you look at the previous RCI, the VK Lingam tape, the Forex RCI, Wang Klian, Anwar punya Black Eye punya RCI, it was all open to the public. The parties were allowed to be present throughout the proceeding. Lawyers were present. They were allowed to cross-examine all the witnesses who testified. But why is it in this case it was shrouded in secrecy behind closed doors, yet you have this report being produced publicly and redacted? What is the purpose of all this? What's the reason? This is something we do not understand. So from the outset, whatever the commission wanted to call itself, from the outset, we felt that this is not a fact-finding inquiry, but instead it is a fault-finding inquiry. And true enough, it is a fault-finding inquiry trying to tarnish Tun's reputation and image. And we believe even the recommendation by the RCI for criminal investigation is intended to intimidate, harass, and embarrass Tun. And we believe strongly that it's going to be very, very difficult for them to proceed with the criminal investigation. So from day one, we had no faith in the RCI. The RCI breached all known legal principles of natural justice. They went against the rule, against bias and all that. People who are conflicted sat in the RCI. People who were involved in the investigation, the Pasukan Special Task Force, which made a finding that Tun was responsible. The former Prime Minister Ismail Sabri said about this in the newspapers. Azlina Osman mentioned this in Parliament. We all were aware from the beginning that the RCI was aimed against Tun. And under Section 18 of the Commission of Inquiry Act, Tun is entitled to be present throughout the entire proceeding together with his lawyers. Even that right, which is a statutory right in the Act, was denied to Tun. So we have the doubts about the integrity of the RCI from the very beginning. And true enough, when the report came out, this is what you see. If you want to get to the truth, then why do you have to black out these pages? What is there to hide? Everything was hidden from the public from day one and until today. So what we are saying is, as far as we are concerned, this report is not worth the paper it's printed on, Tun. And we reject. And see, one of the recommendations made by the RCI is that Malaysia boleh memfailkan semula permohonan tafsiran baharu pada bila-bila masa yang sesuai. Walau bagaimanapun, Suruhanjaya tidak mencadangkan Malaysia memfailkan semula permohonan tafsiran. Why? No reason given. They say we can refile, but we are not going to refile, yet no reason given. And then Second recommendation, tindakan sivil di bawah tort misfeasance yang dicadangkan oleh PPK, that is the pasukan petugas khas, where Datuk Baljit Singh, who was a member, and where this PPK came to the conclusion Tun was responsible, yet he sat in the RCI. How could he sit and arrive at a conclusion in the PPK and yet then sit in the RCI and coming to the same conclusion? So these are the issues we raised before the Commission, but they just brushed aside all our objections. And now they say, look, tindakan sivil di bawah tort misfeasance yang dicadangkan oleh PPK tidak perlu diambil terhadap Tun Dr Mahathir kerana tindakan tersebut telah terhalang oleh hak masa. That's wrong, because this finding by the RCI is only recent, and the limitation is 6 years. So it should run from the date when the finding is made. So all these are excuses given by the RCI. And the last recommendation is for siasatan jenayah boleh dimulakan terhadap Dr. Mahathir atas kesalahan di bawah Seksyen 415B Kanun Keseksaan dan boleh dihukum di bawah Seksyen 417 Kanun yang sama dan juga di bawah Seksyen 418 Kanun yang sama. This is a criminal penal code. The offence of cheating. Are they saying that Tun cheated the cabinet? Tun lied to the cabinet? The cabinet was briefed. In fact, if you look at the cabinet minutes, the ministers were briefed. They were aware what happened, and we have lawyers there. These are cabinet ministers made of educated people. They knew what was happening. They never objected. They never raised any issue with Tun about the presentation of the briefing by Tun. And today, they are saying, look, they are not happy. Tun probably they are saying Tun lied to them, Tun cheated them, Tun did not present the truth. But why now? To me and to us, they are trying to save their skin. They are doing this because they want to protect themselves. But this opportunity to cross-examine them will be available to us should the criminal prosecution is proceeded with. And these people will be called, we can cross-examine them. So this is how we view the report of the RCI.
Yeah. I would like to add that in my cabinet at that time, the Deputy Prime Minister was Wan Aziza. She was sitting next to me, but she didn't say anything, nor was she called by RCI to give evidence. So it seems that they pick and choose the people they want to question so that they can get the results that they want. Actually, if I have done wrong, they have a chance to make a report, but they didn't make any report. It's RCI that makes the report. So I didn't commit a crime against RCI. If they say I lied to the cabinet has a right to make a report that I lied to the cabinet.
And your question as to how much money has been spent by
Oh, yeah. Actually, a lot of money was spent by the AGS chambers to investigate. They went to stay in UK for
11 months.
For 11 months, they stayed in UK. Nothing was reported that is incriminating. So what did they do? 11 months in the UK?
If I may add, Apandi Ali was then the Attorney General, appointed these 5 legal experts from overseas, these foreign legal experts, and 2 of them were Queen's Counsel. And Apandi also appointed 2 local lawyers, and we are given to understand that they were paid millions of ringgit to assist. But they never prepared any opinion to contradict or challenge the opinion of the foreign legal experts. The foreign legal experts came to the conclusion that there was no winnable case, no prospect of success. Now, if the local experts felt that the opinion given by the foreign legal experts were wrong, why did they not provide a contrary opinion? They never did. So what were they doing? And even the Aegis Chambers did not provide any contrary opinion to challenge the opinion of the legal experts, the foreign legal experts. So Tun relied on the opinions of the 5 foreign legal experts when the decision was made not to proceed. So it is not correct for the RCI or anyone to give the impression that Tun made the decision not to proceed on his own. And furthermore, we must understand and we must highlight that the ICJ in 2008, when they decided they granted sovereignty over Pulau Batu Puteh to Singapore, it was by a strong majority of 12 to 4 judges. 12 judges in favor and 4 against. It is not a small, a simple majority, it's a strong majority, 12 to 4. And as lawyers, we know that when you want to apply to review a decision of any court, it's always very difficult. And the foreign legal experts were fully aware of that, and they advised the government. So as far as we are concerned, as far as Tun is concerned, everything was done in accordance with professional standards based on the legal opinion of the foreign legal experts. Now this is where, and then the decision of the ICJ, what turned the tide against Malaysia was the letter dated September 1953, written by the Assistant State Secretary of Johor to the British Colonial Advisor, Secretary, to say, look, Johor does not claim Pulau Batu Puteh. That was the critical evidence which the ICJ relied upon. And if you have already unequivocally or categorically stated that you don't claim Pulau Batu Puteh, and then you change your mind, I think that is something that I think will not be upheld in any court of law. So all these factors are not highlighted because of certain motivation or certain interest. But these are, if you read the RCI report, I think it's from paragraph 2.35 to paragraph 2.42, you will find the reasons given by the ICJ. So these are the reasons. It was the indifference and the neglect of the Johor state government then which caused the loss of Pulau Batu Puteh.
Yeah. Say something here.
Under Article 6 in the agreement with ICJ, it says there, judgment of the court. The parties agree to accept the judgment of the court given pursuant to this special agreement as final and binding upon them.
Signed by Malaysia and Singapore.
Yeah. This is done in triplicate in Putrajaya. For the government of Malaysia, Syed Hamid Alba, Minister of Foreign Affairs. For the government of Republic of Singapore, as Jayakumar, Minister of Foreign Affairs. So we undertook, we signed the agreement, but now we are going to renege against the agreement and question the ICJ.
Tun, do you consider this as a defamation? Will you sue? Adakah Tun merasakan ini satu fitnah dan akan menyaman mana-mana pihak di kerajaan? Dan second, apa yang boleh Tun katakan kepada ahli Parlimen Pakatan Harapan yang berada dalam kabinet Tun ketika itu, tetapi kini they keeping silent about this?
Ya, kita kena pegang kepada undang-undang dan apa yang sebenarnya berlaku. Tetapi kita dapati laporan ini yang dibuat oleh RCI ini cari jalan nak tumpu kepada saya. Kononnya saya buat keputusan ini seorang diri, which is not true. Jadi the report itself is biased to find fault with me, not with the whole cabinet, not with the deputy prime minister, who all had a chance to rebut or change my decision. That is how the cabinet functioned.
Tun, you have said that you are being targeted and the RCI was unnecessary. Do you see hidden hands behind this government in creating this RCI to target at you?
Well, there must be somebody who is has a special interest in my case, because as you know, I'm now in the opposition, and there are attempts to neutralize me in terms of politics. So now I am supposed to be a criminal, banduan, bukan banduan terhormat. Orang itu jadi banduan terhormat, dah masuk jail 5 tahun. Saya pun nak dijadikan banduan. Kita tahu kes seperti Daim umpamanya, sampai orang itu mati. Dia sakit. Gunanya bila dia tak pergi ke court pasal dia sakit, they tried to accuse him of being mad, to be examined in the lunatic asylum. So this thing is going on in this country, and I think it is very unhealthy where the law is used to oppress people. But I know, of course, you find difficulty writing all these things that I've said, because we are a free country, free not to publish.
I think Tun is being very respectful. Actually, I would say it's a political revenge, politics of revenge, no? They have a grudge against you.
Yesterday, only 100 MPs turned up in Parliament. People have to turn up to debate this day.
Yeah, people, 100. Yesterday, 100 MPs turned up in Parliament out of 222. So I think the MPs should know the facts of the case. Of course, it's very difficult for many of them to recite all the reasons why the decision was made. But I think the MPs represent the people, and the people are not happy with all kinds of charges made by wrong people. Apparently, the RCI was set up in order to pinpoint me as the culprit. When others are involved, or that was not to be taken into consideration. The whole cabinet was there when I brought up this matter. They could very well say no if they can't speak a long speech on that. They can just say no, we don't accept. And in the past, I know when I was Prime Minister for the first time, one minister rejected my proposal, and I had to drop the proposal just because one minister objects.
Tun, would you consider this as defamation, and would you file a suit against?
Would you want to take any legal action?
Yeah, we will see what happens. And see, we will see whether more laws are being misused, abused, just to pinpoint the mistake, the decision on me, and that I was treacherous. I have never been treacherous to my own country. You know very well. I added more land to the country when we built Layang. That is additional, and Layang is a very substantial piece of land with the airport there. That is adding to Malaysia's territory, but that of course is dismissed instead of that, this rock, oh, I lost the rock. But what we gain is the middle rock. Middle rock is much more able to be developed into a tourist spot or to provide some shelter for fishermen.
Tun, if I may add, the RCI never made any finding that there was any commission of treachery by Tun. And I wonder if the person who alleged this so-called treachery understands the meaning of the word treachery. So you can see the angle they are coming from, all kinds of motivation, interpretation they are giving. And as we suspected, and I repeat again, we doubted the integrity of the RCI, and we went before the RCI to request or to apply for certain decisions or certain rules to be pronounced. One of the decision or one of the requests we made was for the recusal of certain people whom we felt were conflicted. That was denied. And then even our request for Tun to be present with the RCI, which Tun is entitled to with his lawyers under Section 18, it is in the Act itself that was denied. And Tun was only allowed to appear with his lawyers on the very day Tun was called to testify. We did not know who else were called. We were not given any opportunity to cross-examine. We don't know what they said. In fact, when you look at the RCI report, there were many witness statements with testimony given by other witnesses, but they were not called. So anyway, their testimony or their statements were used by the RCI, and we had no opportunity at all to cross-examine, to challenge the veracity or the correctness or the truth of their statements. And what puzzles us also, which is very important, is why was it held behind closed doors? So all these actions or the conduct or the procedures, led us to the conclusion that from the outset, it was intended to intimidate, harass, and embarrass Tun. And true enough, this is what has happened. And you ask yourselves, why 47 pages out of 200 plus blacked out? Why? What are they trying to hide? It isn't us. It's just us that is not trying to hide anything. It is I would say, the RCI and those behind this RCI. They are trying to hide something, yet using half-truth to target Tun. I call it half-truth. So all in all, I think as far as we are concerned as lawyers, I think Rafiq will agree with me. We reject in totality the findings of the RCI. We reject completely.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
We have prepared the full transcript. I think it's been passed to friends of the media. Thank you so much. Anything else?